Dear students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Professor P. Bhaskar Reddy, Department of Ancient Indian History, Culture and Archaeology, Sri Venkateswara University, Tirupati, the Principal Investigator of the subject Indian Culture and the Course Coordinator for the paper Outlines of Indian History. In this module, we are going to learn about the Sangam Age, an important period in the history of South India. The learning objectives of the module are the Sangam literature, a general survey, political history of the Sangam Age, Cheras dynasty, Chola dynasty, Pandya dynasty, the cultural history of the age, Sangam polity, society, religion, position of women, economy and fine arts. With these objectives, let us start to make a brief introduction on what is Sangam Age. Sangam Age constitutes an important chapter in the history of South India. In this age, South India moved from prehistory to history. Plenty of literary records reflecting on contemporary events are available. Ashoka, in his edicts, referred the people of South India as Cholas, Cheras, Pandyas and Satyaputras. Thus, the South India have a hoary past. Then it moved to Sangam Age. The history of Tamil literature begins with Sangam, that is an academy of Tamil poets. The Sangam Age in Tamil literature was a period of great literary glory. They flourished under the royal patronage of Pandyas of Madurai. Tradition tells us that there were three Sangams in antiquity: Talai Sangam, Reddy Sangam, Kadai Sangam. The first Sangam, that is Talai Sangam, had its seat in old Madurai, now submerged in the Indian Ocean. This Sangam was attended by gods and legendary sages. Nearly 4,499 authors submitted their writings for approval, but all works have perished. This Sangam was patronized by 89 Pandyan kings. 7 of them were poets, and it lasted for about 4,400 years. The standard works of the first Sangam are Agatyam, Paripadal, Mudanarai, Mudukuruku, Kalariya Virai. The second Sangam, also known as Reddy Sangam, had its seat at Kapatapuram. This Sangam was attended by 3,700 poets and received the support of another 59 Pandyan kings. It flourished in unbroken continuity for 3,700 years. The works now lost except the work Tolkappiyam, the Tamil grammar attributed to Tolkappiyar. The third Sangam, Kadai Sangam, had its seat in northern Madura. It was founded by Mudak Thirumaran. 449 poets submitted their works for approval in this Sangam. This Sangam was patronized by 49 Pandyan kings. It continued for 1,850 years. The principal works of the third Sangam are Pattupattu, the 10 Idillis, Ettu Togai, the 8 collections, Padinen Kil Kanaku, the 18 minor didactic poems. Ettu Togai and Pattupattu are the two major groups of texts included in the corpus of Sangam literature. Padinen Kil Kanakku are called minor works. The poetry was divided into two groups, Agam, that is love, Puram, the works dealing with kings. Of these works that were produced in the third Sangam, there are many important works. One of these minor didactic poems is the world famous classic Thiruvalluvar's Kural. There are 5 major epics which became popular in the history of Sangam literature are Silappadikaram, Manimekalai, Jivaka Chintamani, Valayapati, Kundalakesi. Out of these 5 major epics, only the first 3 are available, remaining are not available. Among these, Silappadikaram is an important work of the age. Silappadikaram, composed by Ilango Adigal, the brother of King Cheran Senguttavan. It is the tragic story of a merchant, Kovalan of Puhar, who fall in love with a dancer, Madhavi, neglecting his wife, Kannagi. Kannagi later revenges the death of her husband and she becomes a goddess of the Tamil people. It marks the beginning of Kannagi cult or Pattani cult in Tamil Nadu. The another important work is Manimekalai. It is a sequel to Silappadikaram written by Sittalai Sattanar. Its heroine Manimekalai is Kovalan's daughter. She is in the service of Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. This work gives glimpses of the development of fine arts during the Sangam age. Jivaka Chintamani, another work of Tirukkadevar. He was a young Chola convert to the Jaina faith. See the palm leaves of the Sangam literature and also the inscription which tells about the history of Tamil literature. Besides the Sangam literature, various other source materials are also available to know about the history of the Sangam age. Besides Sangam literature, inscriptions, archaeological materials and foreign accounts also useful to know about the history of the Sangam age. Among the foreign accounts, Megasthenes in his account Indica referred the 3 Tamil kingdoms. The Strabo, Pliny and Ptolemy also mentioned the commercial contacts between the West and South India during that age. Besides, the Ashokan inscriptions mentioned the Pandya, Chola and Cheras as neighbors of his kingdom. The Hathigumpa inscription of Karavela refers to the kingdoms of the Tamil country. The archaeological expressions at Arikamedu, Pumpuhar and other places reveal the overseas commercial activity of the age. Thus, we have a bulk of source materials to know about the Sangam age, which is considered as a classical age in the history of Tamils. Now, after the discussion of Sangam literature, it is necessary to know about what is the age of Sangams, when they flourished, where they flourished. Chronology of the Sangam literature is a debated topic. 3rd century BCE to 3rd century Christian era is the most probable date of Sangam literature. To decide the date of the Sangam literature, the seat anchor of Sangam chronology lies in the fact that Gajabahu II of Sri Lanka and Cheran Senguttavan were contemporaries. This evidence was confirmed by Silappadikaram as well as the Dipavamsa and Mahavamsa. The Roman coins of 1st century found in plenty in the areas of Tamil Nadu also attest the flourishing of Sangam Age during that period. Now, after making a general survey on Sangam literature and its importance, now we can discuss the political history of the Sangams, the rulers and their achievements. Regarding the political history of the age, the 3 important kingdoms of the age are Chera, Chola, Pandya. These dynasties can be traced from the literary sources as well as from the inscriptions. There was frequent wars between the Cheras, Cholas and Pandyas for the domination over each other. It gave an ample scope for composition of war and love by the poets in Sangam literature. See the ruling families of the south, Cheras, Cholas and Pandyas and their territorial limits. Now we begin with the history of the Cheras. Cheras ruled over parts of modern Kerala. Their capital is located at Vanji or Karur. They have royal emblem, bow and arrow. The famous ports located in their kingdom were Tondi and Musuri. They have the titles like Vananar, Villavar and Malayar. The Pugalur inscription of the period refers to 3 generations. Perum Sorru Udayan Cheralanathan, also known as Udayan Jiral. Imayarambam Nedun Cheralanathan, also known as Nedun Cherala Adan, Cheran Senguttavan. Among these, the earliest ruler was Udayan Jiral. He was succeeded by his son Nedun Cherala Adan. Senguttavan was most popular king. He was a contemporary of Paranar, the most celebrated poet of the Sangam Age. Regarding his achievements, he led an expedition up to Himalayas and crossed the river Ganges. To commemorate that event, he got a stone from the Himalayas to make the idol of the goddess Kannagi. He was the founder of famous Patini cult, that is the worship of goddess of chastity. He was the contemporary of King Gajabahu of Sri Lanka. Senguttavan was succeeded by Nedunjeral Adan. He was the contemporary of the Chola king Karikala. Now, let us try to understand the history of the another dynasty, Cholas. The Chola kingdom of Sangam period extended from modern Tiruchi district to southern Andhra Pradesh. The first capital of them located at Urayur. Later they have a second capital, Puhar, also known as Kaveri Pattinam. Their royal emblem is tiger. They have a famous port, Kaveri Pattanam. The area dominated by the early Cholas came to be known as Tondai Mandalam or Chola Mandalam. Yalara was the first important Chola king. He conquered Sri Lanka and ruled over it for nearly 50 years. Karikala was the most famous king of early Chola age. He was an able administrator and great warrior. He defeated the combined forces of the Pandyas, the Cheras, and also 11 minor chieftains in the Battle of Venni. Pahai Parandalai was another important battle fought by him in which 9 enemy chieftains submitted before him. As a result, Karikala became a powerful ruler of that age. Karikala also maintained a powerful army which he used to conquer Sri Lanka. He not only showed interest in the political expansion of his empire, but also showed equal interest in welfare of the subjects of the people. He built a huge embankment on the Kaveri river. His achievements made him the overlord of the whole Tamil country. Later, after the death of Karikala, with the rise of Pallavas, the Cholas lost their importance and became a marginal force in the course of time. See the bronze statue of Karikala Chola and also the Anakat built by him on the river Kaveri. The another dynasty known for the age are Pandyas. The Pandyas ruled over Project Madurai, Tirunelveli and Ramanathapuram areas. Their capital was located at Madurai. Carp or fish was their royal emblem. Korkai was the famous port located in their kingdom. The earliest kings of the Pandyan dynasty were Nedunchelian, known as Nedian, Palega Salai, Mudukudumi, Peruvalvidi, Mudati Maran. There were two Nedunchelians in Pandyan history. The first one was Ayyappodai Kadanta Nedunchelian. During his time, he gave the death sentence to Kovalan, the hero of Silappadikaram. After that, he died of remorse because of his role in the tragic turn of events. Talai Yalangalattu Cheruvara Nedunchelian was another king. During his time, he achieved many victories. He defeated Cholas, Cheras and 5 chieftains in the battle at Talayalangam. Many later Pandyan rulers are mentioned in the Sangam literature, but not possible to establish their chronology or verify their exploits. The last famous Pandyan king was Peruvalvidi. After Peruvalvidi, Pandyan rule began to decline due to the invasion of Calabras. Thus, we made a brief survey on the Sangam literature and also political history of the age. Now, we can shift our discussion to know about the cultural history of the Sangam age. We start with polity of the Sangam age. The Chera, Chola and Pandyan kings were Vendar. That is, they are crowned kings. The kings had their special insignia of royalty such as the staff, drum and umbrella. Each dynasty had a royal emblem and they assumed several titles. Perunal, that is king's birthday, was celebrated every year. Hereditary monarchy was the prevailing form of the government. During this period, disputed sections and civil wars were not known. The imperial court was Avai. It was attended by chiefs and several officers. The Sabha or Manram of the king was the highest court of justice. The rulers were famous for impartial administration of justice. The king was assisted by a large body of officials. In recognition of performance, they bestowed titles and honors to the subordinates also. During this period, they organized efficient military administration to meet their exigencies. Each ruler had their respective Kodimaram tutelary deity. The sources of their revenue were land tax, Irai or Karai, tolls and customs, Sangam, internal transit duties on merchandise, booty captured in wars. Regarding the social aspects of the age, we have interesting information about caste, professions, and several social institutions. The most relevant socio-economic of the period is the anthologies in their concept of Tinai. The Tamilakam consists of 5 Tinais or physiographic divisions. People living in these 5 divisions had their respective chief occupations as well as gods for worship. People living in these 5 divisions had their respective chief occupations as well as gods for worship. The physiographic of the people, their chief deity, and their occupations are given in tabular form. Besides the occupational groups, the Brahmins of the period held high position in the society. The period witnessed the appearance of Brahmins as regular Varna. Kshatriyas and Vaishyas were absent. Warriors and merchants were found as separate classes. The 4th class was the agriculturists called Valalas. Besides the above social groups, there were some minor classes such as Kadaisiyar, agricultural laborers, Malayar, robbers, Mainar, hunters, Pulayans, rope makers. Regarding the economic conditions of the period, agriculture was the most important occupation. Land was fertile and irrigated with river and tank waters. The agricultural products are paddy, ginger, pepper, sugarcane, cotton, horse gram, cereals. The Chera country was famous for jackfruit and pepper. Chola and Parian country, they are famous for producing paddy. Urayur and Madurai, they were the centers of textile industry. Maritime trade flourished between Greek and Roman countries. The important ports located in these areas are Korkai, Karur, Puhar, Tondi, Mussoorie, Arikamedu, and Marakkanam. The exports of the age include cotton fabrics, spices like pepper, ginger, cardamom, cinnamon, and turmeric. Ivory products, pearls, and precious stones were also exported. The imports include gold, horses, and sweet wine. Besides the socio-economic issues of the age, we have interesting information and valuable information regarding the religious practices that prevailed during the Sangam age. The kings performed Vedic sacrifices and adopted Vedic gods. The primary deity was Sayan or Murugan. The hunters worshipped Murugan as the deity of the hillock. The agricultural communities worshipped Indra. The other gods were Shiva, Varuna, Kubera, Yama, Balaram. They performed different rituals and built temples for gods. Besides Brahminical religion, Buddhism and Jainism also flourished during the age. They also believed in spiritual and philosophical aspects. The Sangam literature also provides valuable information about the position held by women. Women played in different role in the society as dutiful wife, responsible mother, ideal hostess to guests. The courage of women was appreciated in many poems. Karpu or chaste life was considered the highest virtue of the woman. The Aryans introduced the rituals and ceremonies at the time of marriages. The life of widows was miserable. The practice of sati was prevalent, but it confined in the higher strata of this society. The class of dancers were patronized by the kings and nobles. Poetry, music, and dancing were the important fine arts of the age. The royal courts were crowded with singing bards called panar and viraliar. These viraliars were experts in folk songs and dances. The dances of viralis took place usually at night. The arts of music and dancing were highly developed during the Sangam Age. Atam and Kutu were performed especially during the festive days. The Tolkapayam, an important work of the Sangam, refers to Nattukam or drama performed by the people of the age. Dear students, now we can sum up our discussion with summary of the age. The Sangam period, which flourished from 3rd century BCE onwards, witnessed its decline towards the end of 3rd century Christian era. It was the period of transition from chiefdoms to kingdoms with the formation of states. The ending of the chiefdoms is attributed to the hostilities with the Calabras. Disputes about the stratification of the Sangam test may remain unsolved problem even today. However, the early Tamil literature was closer to the realities of life. They speak volumes of the various institutions that were prevailed in that age. Thank you.